Yeah, that was fast.
All right. Figured it out fast that time.
Well,
Well,
but yeah,
what's
yeah.
that?
It just the internet net must be a lot faster.
Yeah, it was, well, we'll see how long it lasts. I keep getting power surges. So, um, I welcome everybody to the 2023 Adult 40 and Over District Championship. So this is 3 O's, 3 5s, and 4O ladies. We have 74 teams out of the 3 divisions. So kudos to you guys for putting teams together and working hard all year to get people to come to championships. So we appreciate it. We think it's great. We know that you guys do a lot of hard work, and we do appreciate it. So I have a PowerPoint, but I want you guys to know this is really laid back, really loose. So if you have questions about any of the slides or anything that's not on the slides, please feel free to just jump in, ask. Once I switch it over to sharing my screen, I can't see the chat. So Pete will watch it some, or if you just want to come off mute and just talk and just ask the questions, that's fine too. Like I said, we're really pretty laid back about the whole thing. So we want you to make sure that you feel prepared and excited to come this weekend. So I'm going to share my screen. I think. Yep. There we go. All right. So you guys see the blue screen?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, very good. Okay, so this is the 40 and Over District Championship, and welcome. This is a copy of the 2023 National Championship schedule. It's also hyperlinked in here, so if you want a copy for yourself, you can always click in on it. So you guys, for the winners of each flight from this weekend, will advance to our section championship, which is 2 weeks from now. Part of it is going to be in, I think most of the men are in Rhode Island. All the ladies will be in Eastern Mass again. So all the flight winners will advance 2 weeks from now. And then the winners of the championship in 2 weeks will advance to the national championship. And the dates are here. The 3-5 ladies are October 6th through 8th in Tucson. 4-5 is the 13th through 15th in Tucson. 3-O's, the October 20th through the 22nd in San Diego. And the 4-O's are October 27th through 29th, also in San Diego. So you guys will have that for your reference, and you can check it out and check out the complexes there. We've got some nice places that we send people for nationals. So this weekend, we're going to be at Winchester Indoor Tennis, Woburn Racket Club, Bass River Tennis Club, Willows Tennis Club, and barring any unforeseen events, where you start playing is where you will finish playing. So all of your matches will be in the same club where you start. So a few reminders when you get there for your first match. You don't have to worry about coming before the first match of the day, but for your first match specifically, the captain, if you'll please check in 45 minutes prior. That way we can give you your scorecards, we can give you your player gifts, we can answer any questions that you have. That just gives us a little bit of a buffer, and then we'll need your lineup cards and all of your players there ready to go 30 minutes early. So it gives you about 15 minutes to kind of settle in and get everything done before that first match. For all your other matches, please check in and provide your lineups 30 minutes early. That helps us. We check against the roster to make sure that everybody's eligible, that everybody's the right NTRP, and then we put them together so that you have your match cards. All players should be present and ready to play 30 minutes early. We try to keep everything on time and early so that you guys can get out of there in the evening and go do something fun with your team and enjoy your evenings. All players need to provide a government-issued ID before you play. Tell your players when we call them for their match is when we ask for their ID. They don't need to check in at the tournament desk when they first get there and show us their ID. But when we call them right before they go out to play, we'll ask for their ID. They just show it to us, and then they're good to go. Please let them know there's no coaching of any kind. There's no looking up at the windows, asking for water. Just tell them when they're on the court, they're in a little bubble on the court, and they can't talk to anybody at all. If they need to use the restroom or come off and get water, they can. They just need to leave their racket on the court and then come up, but they can't talk to you or any of your players. If they do that, they can come up to the tournament desk and let us know what's going on. But we don't know who they're talking to or what they're talking about. So we just do no talking about to anybody at all. The format for play, we're doing round robins, but each match is going to be 2 out of 3 regular sets. So that's with add scoring. If you split sets, it's a 10-point Komen tiebreak. If you get to 6-all in either of the sets, it's a 7-point Komen tiebreak. In the information link, I have hyperlinked in there a document on how to do a Komen tiebreak. But if at any time any of your players are unsure or they want help, they should go to the tournament desk, ask their site director for help with a tiebreak or scores. We're really there to support you and your players, and they should feel very free to come up and talk to the site directors at any time, even if it's in the middle of a match and they have a dispute that they need resolved. We do want people to switch on the odd games. There's no rest after the first game because it's just the first game. And then your 10-minute warm-up includes serves. Let your players know, too, we need them to come up, both teams, to report their scores. And we have them each initial by their name, one from each team. And that way, you know that your player has initialed that that's what the score is. When all of the lines are finished, you'll come up, you'll recheck the scores again. If you have a dispute, let us know right then. If not, you'll sign your scorecard. And then once we get both captains' signatures, we can put it into Tennis Link. Does anybody have any questions? Any first timers? Anybody need anything else about checking in and getting started? Okay. So all of our championships, because of their round robin format, are considered no default championships. That means we need you to field all 4 lines for every match. If an unintended default occurs, so one of your players gets hurt, you don't have anybody to replace them, that line will be defaulted throughout the round robin, including the reversal of previously played matches. So if for some reason you're on your second or your third match and you lose a player and you can't play D3, we will go back to the previous matches and reverse them 6-0, 6-0 for the other team so that the math works out correctly for everybody. If that happens and your team advances to playoffs, that line is reset. All lines can be played. You don't have to make the default go through the rest of the championship. Okay, so 3-strike disqualification. I'm going to turn this one over to Pete to talk about.
Okay, in adult leagues, all matches that are played generate dynamic ratings. And at the national level, there is, what they consider significantly out of level. It's defined a dynamic rating being into the next level by more than X percentage. If a player receives their 3rd strike during the championship, all matches are reversed for that player. The player is moved up and they can no longer compete at the previous level. We'll be running those reports on a regular basis, typically every half hour or so. So if it happens, we'll notify the captain, the player, and the site director so that people know about it quickly in case they need to give a call to someone to, come quickly to play if you happen to have more than one match that day. In many cases, you'll only have one match. I mean, the way it's scheduled, you're either going to have one match or 2 matches, but we will be doing it quickly. Just so you know, it's all governed at the national level. We have no discretionary control over it. If when we run the reports, someone received their third strike, our job is an administrative one to, process the disqualification. The one question that typically comes up is, well, how many strikes do I have? At the national level, they don't disclose any of that information. That's about it. I would say that it's relatively infrequent. This past weekend there were 3, which is actually a little bit more than I would say the norm, but it's fairly infrequent. Most people are playing on a team because they feel that that's about where they belong, and and it works out fine. Any questions before I turn it back to Christy? All yours, Christy.
Okay. Okay. So a little bit about medical timeouts. I've gotten a lot of questions about this. And I want to just say that there's a lot of gray area in medical timeouts. Medical timeouts are defined and really spelled out for junior tournaments and adult tournaments where there are officials and athletic trainers. We don't have either of those. So if somebody gets hurt and they need to take a medical timeout, they get 3 minutes from the time they start whatever treatment is. So usually what happens is if we hear of or see somebody say they rolled their ankle, we get down there, talk to them. When we get ice to them and they put ice on their ankle, from that moment on, they get 3 minutes to decide if they want to go on or if they need to retire. So that time in between and getting to them and getting the ice, depending on where the ice is in the facility, that can take, 5 minutes or 7 minutes. So that there's a little bit of leeway in that. Technically, the maximum time allowed for evaluation and treatment is 15 minutes, but that's really when an athletic trainer comes out and does the evaluation. So usually it doesn't take us that long, and players know if they can't go on pretty quickly. But just kind of know that that's a gray area. Bleeding is a little bit different. It takes time to clean up blood if we get blood on the court, if somebody gets a bloody nose or something. So that typically is about 15 minutes to stop visible bleeding and then clean up the court and dispose of contaminated items. I haven't had that, knock on wood, since I started, so I hope we keep it that way. Medical conditions include like injury, illness, and heat-related conditions and cramping. If somebody has a cramp in their left leg and they take a medical timeout, they cannot later take a medical timeout for a cramp in their right leg. It's considered all one thing. So if they have to take another medical timeout for cramping, they would have to retire. But I just wanted everybody to know that there's a gray area in this, and that the site directors do their best to be as expedient and as quick as possible. But we are all adults and we are all human. So please give us a little bit of leeway when there is an injury, so that we can make sure that everybody's safe and healthy and either stays on the court or gets off the court, whatever is best for them. We have a national suspension point system now. Your site directors, because we are unofficiated matches, your site directors act as officials in this capacity. If they see someone break a racket or swing at a ball and it hits somebody in anger, they can automatically code violate somebody from a point penalty all the way up to, depending on the egregiousness of the act, they can default them from the championship and have them removed from the building. We're not going to have any of that. Everybody's going to play nice. But I wanted you guys to have this for reference. If you get suspension points for whatever reason, When you get 10, you're suspended for 3 months, and that suspension is national. So you can't go to Florida and play. You can't go to New York and play. You're suspended from the whole nation. That's new as of last year. It used to be section by section, but they're trying to align it more with the junior and adult tournaments in that space. So just try not to hit anybody with your rackets, and everybody play nice. That's the moral of that story. Play nice. No suspension points. But the fun thing, photos. I've been talking a lot with our marketing department, and there's 3 of them, and there's a lot of us. So we're trying to get stories that are fun. We want to hear about you, your team, any fun things you do, charity work that you've done, what brought you together, what made you be a captain. So if you have photos that you take during the championship, you can send them to New England's Instagram via direct message, or you can drop them into the folder that's under here. I have it so that anybody that has that link can drop photos in. But if you drop a photo in, please make sure that you label it in some way so that our marketing department can either contact you or contact me and ask me who it is and what the story is behind it. We really do want to know your stories. And then James, who's our photographer story person, asked me to put the link in on how to change your iPhone and Android photos from HEIC to JPEG. So I told him I would. I don't really know what that means. So anybody who's tech savvy can help us. But really, we love the stories. So please share your stories. A few frequently asked questions. No courts will be available for practice before or during the championship. We just don't have enough courts for everybody to practice, so we can't play favorites and let some people practice and some not. If you'd like to practice, you can find courts at other facilities or in public parks. You're more than welcome to do that, but please do not practice at our facilities before the championship. Bathrooms and showers are open and available in all of our locations. At this time, there are no COVID protocols in place. Masks are optional on and off the court. Please be respectful of anybody who's wearing a mask or anybody who's not wearing a mask, and just help us keep respect with all of that. Please bring plenty of water and snacks with you. Clear liquid drinks only are allowed on court. We don't want red Gatorade spilling and staining the courts. Please, it's a kind of a bring it in, take it out. So if you have snacks in your bag, please make sure that you put your trash either in a receptacle or in your bag and take it out with you. Some of the clubs do sell waters, but my experience is you're just much safer to bring a cooler and maybe bring drinks for your whole team, or have your team make sure they bring plenty of water just in case something happens and there's no bottled water available. Alcohol is not allowed in many of the clubs. Some people like to bring beer and wine, but please call the club ahead of time and ask them if they have a liquor license. They can get in a lot of trouble for having people bring alcohol in that's not through their liquor license. So please, if you have questions about that, call the club directly and let them know, and they can let you know what the guidelines are. So does anybody have any other questions about anything?
I have a question. If we have to pay a fee upon entering, or is the team fee of $375 cover everybody's individual fee?
It covers everything. Yep. You don't have to bring any money with you at all.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm a first-time captain, so I'm trying to figure it out.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Christy, one thing I wanted to mention is this past weekend for 18 plus, we were up at Bass River, and I don't know which teams are at Bass River this weekend, but the traffic was really, really bad on the weekend because of the beach traffic. So leave extra time if you're traveling up there, because one of our players got there late and we had to switch the lineup because we had to turn in our card, and it messed us up a little bit. So just be careful with the traffic.
Yeah, that's a good reminder. Thanks, Cheryl. I also know the Sumner Tunnel is closed, and that's not helping things in the southern part of Boston. And Willows is kind of up that direction as well. Yeah, so just please make sure to check those traffic times. That's it can get a little hairy up there.
And I would add 20 minutes extra because our player did, and it got worse while she was already on the road, and she missed. She didn't get there in time. And she drove about an hour and 40 minutes, got there and was too late because of traffic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Christy, for an 8 a.m. match up at Willows or anywhere, what time will the staff be there? Because I know you want us there 45 minutes before, but what time should we plan to be there?
Still be there 45 minutes before the first match of the day. We try to get there an hour to an hour and a half before to get set up.
Great.
Yeah.
We were on the court by 7:45 for our 8 o'clock match.
Good to know.
Okay. So a few important links that will help you guys out. We have a Facebook page. And then we have a brand new Captain's Hub, which is not specifically for championships. It does have championship information in it, but it also has all of the local area regulations and local league timelines and just tons and tons of information. So if there's something that you're not sure where to go find it, start on the hub. And then there's a link on the first page because this is kind of new for us. One of our local league coordinators put it together and she did a really great job. But we want to make it user friendly for you guys as captains. We're trying to do what we can to make your very hard job easier. So if there's something not on it that you would like to see on it, there's a link on the first page that you can kind of give us some feedback, and we'll put, we just want to make sure that it's really user friendly. That's our goal for it.
That's the USTA site. The Captain's Hub is on the USTA site.
It's actually a Google site. It's not on, it's not a web page. So if you click directly through where it says Captain's Hub, it'll take you to it.
Okay.
Yeah. The important documents that has the hyperlink with the schedules, regulations, Komen tiebreak procedure, all those things in it. That link is live. So if we make changes on the back end, whatever's on that link will always be the most updated information. We have an online store if you want t-shirts or mugs or something that says Captain on it. 10% of all the gross from the online store actually goes to our New England Tennis and Education Foundation, which does a lot of charity work. It helps with some of our kids in some of the lower income areas. And recently they've been collecting money to help with the flooding in Vermont. So it's really good. It's run by a group of volunteers in New England. So that's our foundation. And then let's play tennis. All right. What else, you guys? What do we need to go over? Anything?
Are we able to print out your slideshow?
I will make a PDF out of it and email it to you tomorrow with the recording.
Okay, I just want to ask again on the format of the play. It's round robins. Each match, 2 out of 3 regular sets with add scoring, splits set, 10 tiebreak for 6-6. Is that right?
If a set goes to 6-all, it's a 7-point tiebreak.
Okay.
And then if you split sets, it's a 10-point tiebreak.
Okay. Thank you.
And there's no time limit. So those of you that are used to playing with time limits, just know you're playing out until you're done.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you guys have questions or you come up with something or you need anything, just let us know. Especially if you guys are first-time captains, make sure that when you get to your site, you let your site director know that it's your first time, because there are a couple of procedures that they can kind of help walk you through and make sure that you're comfortable with, so that you have a really good experience throughout the weekend.
Can I just ask one question really quick? Is it team wins when you're in a flight of 4, or is it individual wins?
It is team wins.
Okay, so you're going to win 2 or 3. Okay.
Christy, can I ask
Okay.
something? I just was wondering, what is the guaranteed rest time between matches, for players?
It's 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay, thank you.
30 minutes.
I have a
Yep.
question also, because we have an 8 a.m. and then we have a 4:30 p.m. And do you think we should be going home, stay, hang out all day? I don't know.
You know, it kind of depends on how far it is, but honestly, I think it's fun. Like go grab some lunch and then maybe come back and watch some tennis and stuff like that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, come hang out with your site directors. We like company.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to stop the recording. Let's see.